This is the last stick. I'm not stopping it again. How about? So this is the CompTIA Network Plus Protocols and Internetworking Standards book. I had this for a while, yeah. I did a course. I'm surprised I even passed, really, because I'm looking through the table of contents like, hey, so we actually learned this. Like, what's WiMAX and IEEE 802.x and link. Oh no. So I picked it up again. I have to polish it up. I realize, why do it alone, Why not share? Right? Do it and leave it online. Hopefully someone other than my only viewer, which is me, is watching. So I'll just get straight to it. I chose the network interface card, and I'll be darting down a lot because the book is open in front of me. But that doesn't mean this is a video of me reading. I mean, you could download an audio of that. No. It's like a friend who say take a horse to the river, but you can't teach it to drink. If I give you the book, you will not understand it the way I understand it. And so, the network interface card is a physical device that is used to connect devices such as computers, routers, switches, and printers to a network. Try to make it look like I'm not looking at the book, okay? And so it's also known as the network adapter or a network card. You've heard it many times before. Oh, does the machine have a network card? Oh yeah, network card the inside. Everything the inside, right? But then what is it? You've heard it before. Cool. But do you know what it is? Do you really know what it is? Knowing that the full name doesn't count. You can look at NIC and say, oh, I know it. It's network interface card. But everyone knows it's network interface card. What does it do? Aha. So if you didn't know, you will know very, very, very soon. And so, let me just read the English here. It says, a computer can connect to a network only if a network interface card is installed on the computer. Only if the network interface card is installed on the computer. So NICs can be built into the motherboard of a computer or can be connected using a USB, PC card, or FireWire port. You can Google any of those terms and go to images and have a look at the FireWire port and the PC card, right? NIC can also be an internal adapter card that is installed on one of the expansion slots in a computer. Now, these expansion slots, you normally hear of them going into the PCIe slots, right? So you can, if you don't have a network interface card, or if for any reason you want an extra network interface card, you can always buy it and then insert it into one of the slots on your motherboard, and it's running. It's running. Now, I believe analogies are the best way to understand. If there's no illustration for the explanation, it's garbage for me. Yeah. So think of it as a phone. Now the phone is perfect. The speed, the RAM, the storage, the screen resolution, everything about it, the refresh rates, it's amazing. But you cannot communicate with me in another room using another phone if you don't have a SIM card. SIM card, it's very important. So this is like the SIM card of computer networks. You need it in order to communicate with other devices. And it makes sense for another reason. And let me read it out. It says, hold on. Yes. In a UAA, we'll get to that in a bit. In a UAA, the first 3 octets represent the network interface card manufacturer. Now, yes, they are octets. There are 6 pairs of numbers that make up a MAC address. So if there are 6 pairs, that means as individual digits, there are 12 of them. So you have 2-2-2-2. When you count them all, you have to have 6 pairs, right? And so the first 3 The first three represent the network interface card manufacturer. And that's interesting because I don't know where you're watching from. That's me acting like people are watching from other countries. I expect Ghanaians to be watching this, right? And so we have Vodafone, MTN, Airtel, Tigo, Glow. If you use Glow, yeah. You see, and all of them, the first three numbers differentiate them from other networks. There's 020, there's 023, there's 024, there's 050, there's 05, etc., etc. Right? Same thing applies with MAC addresses on network interface cards. Think of the network interface cards as internet service providers, right? Just like the SIM I'm using. The network interface card is just like a SIM. So for example, instead of maybe 024 being MTN in the networking world, 00-00-00 is Xerox Corporation. Now that's them. Once you see it, you know, okay, this is Xerox network card, right? And then, let me see, 00-0C-87, that's AMD, right? So once you see, oh, MAC address, I mean, it looks so long, so complicated, like, what is this? It doesn't make sense. Once you grab the first 3 digits, you can know which brand mass-produced that particular brand of network interface cards, tautology. One more example is 00-03-FF, which is the Microsoft Corporation, almighty Microsoft. So the numbers are there for a reason, right? All the numbers have their uses. But for now, we know what the first 3 pairs mean. We know, okay, if I Google these first 3 pairs, I can know the manufacturer, and you'll be right. Now, are you seeing the link between this and then the SIM card? I hope you are getting the link. Now, another thing I would like to mention before I move on is if you are doing networking, you may have to install some form of virtual machine, right? Maybe VMware. That's not the virtual machine. That's the app through which you create the virtual machines. But then let's say VMware or there's another one, VirtualBox. I may be wrong, right? Particularly use VMware when I had a laptop. So if you create a machine in that virtual environment, and you create another machine in that same virtual environment, and you want the two of them to communicate, you have to disable the network interface card on your personal machine, right? The real network interface card, you have to disable it, because those two machines you've created automatically each have their own MAC addresses. So there will be a confusion if your computer's main network interface card is active whilst those two network interface cards are active. It's like you have a 2-SIM phone, right? You can't use both SIMs to make calls at the same time. No, you use SIM 1 for calls. And if you want to use SIM 2, you have to cut the line and then pick up SIM 2 and make another call. That's how it is, one at a time. So if you are in a virtual environment, always remember, Eli the computer guy always remind you to turn off your computer's physical address, your computer's MAC address, your computer's network interface card settings. Go there and switch off your network and sharing before you go into your virtual instances. Now that's out of the way, I don't want the video to be too long. It won't be too long. Now, there are 2 categories of MAC addresses. You know the MAC address comes with a network interface card, and the network interface card can be built into the motherboard of the computer or can be connected externally. Now, that MAC address is what we need. It's like the telephone number. It's what will identify us, right? And there are 2 categories, just two interesting acronyms or abbreviations. I'll check it out later. So the first one is UAA, which is Universally Administered Address. Now, without going too far, beating around the bush, you see the examples I gave earlier about the first 3 numbers being, the manufacturer, showing you which manufacturer actually made that network interface card. Yes, that is under the UAA, the Universally Administered Address. Simply put, it's like you buying a phone. Okay, no, you buying a SIM card. Yeah, Your SIM card comes with a phone number. That is what it means by universally administered address. Once you get the network interface card, you automatically get a MAC address. And that MAC address that comes with it is marked in a sense by the manufacturer. That's how come you have those beginning three. I think I've overstated this. Let me see one more time. That's how come you have those first three pairs, right? And then there are LEA, which are the locally administered address. Now, this is not really complicated, right? This is just you changing your MAC address. It's you changing from the UAA and deciding, you know what, I need my own MAC address for whatever reason you may have. Perhaps it's to, infiltrate a network you have been denied access to. Or perhaps, I don't know, maybe in a work environment, they have marked your MAC address. You are not allowed to visit certain sites. And so you access these settings to change your MAC address. So maybe the firewall doesn't recognize you, like, wait, nah, that's not him. And then you get access to those, whatever it is. Regardless, it seems to be important. That's why they added a feature in the first place. And it makes sense in real life too, right? Right now, if I wanted to change my phone number, I have to call the mobile service provider, go through a few steps, but then it is possible. If you don't like your phone number, you can change it. Did you know that? You can change it. I don't know if it comes with a fee, but I know it's possible. It may not be free. That rhymes. And so yeah, that's it. 11 minutes. Wrap up before 12. Yeah, that's it. That's the network interface card. It's built into the motherboard, or can be connected externally, use it to communicate with other devices on the network. Every network interface card has its own MAC address. There are normally 6 pairs, which are 12 different digits, 2 separated by hyphens, right? And then you have 2 categories of MAC addresses, which are the UAA, universally administered addresses, and the LEA, locally administered addresses. I have to wrap up. So the UAA is the unique MAC address defined by the manufacturer. It's assigned when the network interface card is manufactured. Straight up, right? And it comes with its organizational unique identifier. That's what we refer to as those 3 pairs, right? They are known as the organizational unique identifier. And then your LEA, this is normally, it's best if in a work environment you don't change this on your own. There may be sanctions. So it's best if you allow your network administrator to make those changes, right? Or if it's your personal device, why not? Who am I to micromanage you? So with the LEA, wow, if you set the MAC address to an LEA, then network interface card will use this locally administered address as its MAC address, unless it uses the universally administered addresses. Yeah, as its MAC address. So that's basically it. I'm glad you could stick around, and I hope it was NIC.